The cornstalk Dracaena, sometimes known simply as a corn plant, is noted for its height and its striking leaves, the latter of which can measure over 1 meter in length. If you want to learn how to care for this plant at home, both in the garden or indoors, keep watching The Daily Eco. This plant requires plenty of natural light, so it is best to place it near a window or somewhere it will receive the light it needs. However, we need to be careful not to leave it in direct sunlight for any length of time. It is also best to place somewhere without drafts. In terms of irrigation, the cornstalk Dracaena requires little watering. It is only necessary to water it when the soil is very dry. This will generally mean once a week during the warmer months and once every 2 weeks when it is cold. Despite the fact that it does not need a lot of water in its soil, this plant does need plenty of environmental humidity. For this reason, it is best to spray its leaves with warm water every 2 to 3 days. Since it is a plant from tropical climates, the corn plant suffers in low temperatures. Its optimum temperature range is between 22 and 26 degrees Celsius, and below 14 degrees Celsius can be detrimental. Before we continue, let's put you to the test. Do you know how tall the cornstalk Dracaena can reach if it is planted in the ground? A. 2 meters, B. 4 meters, or C. 6 meters. Have a think about the answer and find out if you're right at the end of the video. The pruning of the cornstalk Dracaena can be done for aesthetic reasons and to avoid it taking up too much space. When pruning this plant, it is very important that the cut is made at a 25-degree angle, using a clean and sharp tool. Once the cut is made, it is recommended to cover it with melted candle wax to prevent infections and pests. The cornstalk Dracaena requires occasional transplanting, as with most potted plants. As a slow-growing plant, transplanting every 2 to 3 years should suffice. The most common reproduction technique for this plant is by using cuttings. It requires cutting a young branch and planting it in soil so it takes root. For this to happen, it needs to be a young green branch cut with disinfected tools. You can dip the bottom of the cut branch in rooting protein, either store-bought or homemade, to improve its chances of rooting after planting. It will also be necessary for the substrate to be enriched with compost and other good drainage. Also, in the first few days, the plant will need humidity and a warm environment to be able to adapt to its new environment and develop. Now, going back to the quiz question we asked earlier, do you have your answer? The correct answer is C. When planted in the ground, the cornstalk Dracaena can reach up to 6 meters in height. In a pot, its growth is much more limited and it will adapt to its given space. Let us know if you have any cornstalk Dracaena care tips by leaving a comment, and we'll see you next time.